Hey, welcome back, audience. Hope you're doing good. Well, in this video, I want to talk about what's going on with celebrities. The famous people, the cogs in the Hollywood machine. First of all, it is a type of machine. Um, Especially right now, it's quite obvious. Maybe in the 80s and the 90s, there were some gems of piece of art that kind of were able to be pushed through to that shit machine. But right now, almost nothing of value, of real art and meaning is produced by that machine. And what you may notice is that some of the celebrities are becoming sort of unrecognizable and looking like skeletons, really. And I just want to make a few comments about that. Why this is the case. It is basically a literal depiction of what's really going on. So the way this machine works is that a soul is talented, and all it wants is just to create and have people enjoy their art and music, or any kind of art. And then the machine comes along and says like, hey, we can give you all the fame and all the artificial and external validation you want, but in order for us to do that, you have to give it away your creative um, freedom. Basically, you have to sell your soul, the meaning, all of that for these external perks that you're going to receive. And so when the soul does that, it literally sells its soul, signs the contract, which is also a contract. I mean, literally, they sign the contract with the machine, with the devil itself. And they sell the soul. Now they're not free, sovereign being. They are a product that that machine literally uses and sucks dry. And the way it works is at first, all these perks and all these external ego-centric rewards work, and so the person is happy for a time being. All these dopaminergic rewards are there externally, and so the person is happy for that being. Then that thing stops working, and especially right now, that egoic reward system is losing its grip. It's not working anymore, right? It's not because people came to the realization and said like, oh, that's not good for me and I should quit. Most of the time, it's not like that. Most of the time, it just stops working. It's like a drug that gets you high and eventually stops working. That's the reason most of the people are stopped taking that. Now, why it stopped working, that's another sort of metaphysical question that it's quite deep. And in my view, in my interpretation, it stops working when, because that perk is what you would call a false light, right? It's this external validation that makes temporarily you feel good. It's a false light because it's like an illusion. It's there, it seems it's obvious, and just goes away, disappears, right? And so you need another one. That's false light, essentially. Um, Whenever there is a real light in the same field of reality, the false light stops working. Right? And that's why this mythologically and metaphorically, the vampires are afraid of the sunlight. And this is what you see right now. I mean, whenever a person or celebrity signs the deal with the devil, with that machine, with that Hollywood shit machine, which includes everything. It includes, it's like a propaganda machine that includes the CIA, the government, the tech industry, everything. They all are excuse me, they are all are in cahoots to program the human mind, whether they consciously or subconsciously realize that or not. This isn't a joke. I mean, this is the source of all bad programming and all sorts of hive mind ideas that people may have that's not even theirs. You see, they receive thoughts, it's all sorts of subliminal messages. It's like a mass hypnotic programming that is done very, very well. And only somebody who lives life directly, which is gnosis, direct knowing, not from the outside, could actually be resistant to that. Now, the correct thing to do is, when you're a talented soul and you create art, of course, do not go to any corporate machine, including YouTube. Like, I'm making videos on YouTube, but I don't think I'm gonna keep on making it as a bridge. But YouTube is part of this shit machine. People think that right now, like, oh, they could not make it in making Hollywood movies, so now they're making YouTube videos. So that is sort of like, now they're free, right? Because now they don't have to sign contracts with big corporations. If you belong, I mean, if you depend on the YouTube and ads and the YouTube system and the platform, you're not independent still. You're still using a corporate tool that sells ads or whatever other means they use to use you for money. It's the exact same thing as it was before, but there's an illusion of freedom. It's like, well, now I don't have to listen to any kind of Jews to produce a movie now, or music. Now I can just do it by myself freely as a free agent on YouTube. No, as soon as you have a YouTube account, this is the exact same thing. It's not free. If you do this on the Odyssey or any other decentralized platform, then now we're talking about something real on Web 3.0. Now that something that can never be owned by the corporation, therefore can never be corruptible. Okay, we got to the point right now that the life and the infrastructure of life must be incorruptible for us to continue this holistic and not a matrix way of life. And we have to have a structure where rewards of being completely independent and a free artist beats those rewards of the this shit machine, fame machine bullshit. And it is beating it now. I mean, first of all, you can see what's going on with the celebrities, and to me it's like, this is what you see, what happens to the person when the real light is shone upon them. You can see that they are all vampires, that they're now starving of this blood that they are made to rely upon. I shouldn't say all. They're not all of them like that. Most of them like that. Um, and it's too bad. They sold their soul. They should never have done that. They should never have taken easy way out. And now uh, their livelihood depend on this external validation because their ego was inflated. And so the soul is small and tiny. And now they're going to have to figure out how to live through the soul, through the real meaning. Hopefully, they find the right way. But creating music that you really love, not that what you're told to create, with the audience that really love you as a person. Let it be small audience, but they're full of meaning, is how the art is supposed to be functioning, and without selling its soul, and having abundance and all these different uh, external how you call them, you know, means to survive and thrive in the world. Financial means, those are also important, but without selling its soul. So this is why I'm so completely against anything that is being posted or created through corporate social media platforms. To me, it's the exact same bullshit as in Hollywood. And there is a way to be a free artist and make a living. And right now, it's becoming obvious of what is the right way and what is the real success. I don't consider these famous artists that artificially were made to gain the fame, because that machine, when you sell the soul, that machine can make you famous very easily. Um, so it's almost like, installing yourself into the matrix, and they just suck their living life out of you. And then when they're done, they spit you out, and now you're done. Now get another one, right? And so it's like man, your soul, that energy, is the most valuable and precious resource in existence. And it's so easily just given away in exchange of temporary dopaminergic rewards. And this is why the shit machine is so inflated, because, but of course it's collapsing. You can see that the truth is coming out and people start seeing through. It's like, wait a second, this movie has no mythology. It doesn't speak to me anymore. This movie has ideology. And it's like, I'm not interested in any ideologies. I'm interested in having, an emotion, a feelings, being moved by the movie, by the music, that could somehow help me in life. And you see what I'm trying to say? That's how it's supposed to be. But it's so dry. And now it seems like a talent is not important. It becomes anyway. I'm not saying anything new here, but I just wanted to comment of why these people, these celebrities, are seemingly looking like skeletons, and they don't look themselves anymore, because what kind of energy you carry, what kind of aura you carry, it is reflected in the body. Now that you lost all the perks from the external validation, now you can see what really they are. And what you see is that they're starving souls. They're starving of true meaning. The real value in life. And the good news is that as an artist, as a creator, you kind of want to be already not depending on a corporate social media for anything. You got to find a way of how to make a living and have your fan base, like some people did. Like for example, Louis C.K. He went independent, and he kept on running his business as a comedian purely on his own website. Independent. So that's pretty much the way back. Even like in a social way, we have to go back to the way internet was before the shit machine took over, and at the same time incorporate the centralized platforms that protects you from the shit machine to infect it, which are new. So we take the new technologies, and we take the way we did everything in the past, we put them together, and so the best of all, the best of new, and none of the fucking cancer inducing things. You have to understand that you have to create this infrastructure of your life that is impenetrable, incorruptible. You see, it's not that like, it's alright, like a little bit of that. No, it's not alright. You say, well, at this point it's not corrupted, so maybe it's not going to be corrupted. Anything that is corruptible gets corrupted. By now, you should realize that. Anything that is corruptible gets corrupted. And the whole point of life is to create something that is incorruptible. This is why you want to start learning and understanding of what is the way. The challenge, that virus, that mind virus, that cancer that is trying to infect you, got to realize of how to navigate the life so it doesn't enter your life at all. And that allows you to create a structure of your life as a creative process of the art of living itself, right? If there wasn't that type of structure that is cancerous and invading and malicious, you wouldn't be able to create the structure that is harmonious, beautiful, and awesome. Okay, so anything that can be corrupted will be corrupted. Therefore, the infrastructure must be incorruptible. And this is why, sadly, people who you see, like, some people get their validation, or not necessarily validation, but their fan base on YouTube or other Spotify platforms, and all these still corporate platforms, and then they parade as somebody who's went independent and, look, if I can do it, you can do it. Yet they still belong to the same shit machine, just in a different form. And sadly, even what's worse, sometimes they're made there to move their mouth, basically saying ads that is not their words to the corporate media. This is another type of humiliation ritual. The person who may do this, who have like a lot of followers, may not realize what they're doing, but they're literally sold their soul once again because they said something that did not believe it in order to make money. And so there's, you say like, well, it's not a kind of big deal. It's a massive deal. It is a demonstration of shit machine power over you. And that's what they do when you get a certain limit. I think they're forcing you to do these ads, and to have another form of humiliation ritual. Seemingly free platform like YouTube, which is not free at all. It's the same stuff. So, if you're really gangster, why don't you go really independent? Yes, you can have these platforms like YouTube, as a backup, but of course, you don't bend over for the ads. You figure out how to make money naturally and for real, without selling your soul. And people don't know what they're doing, like, of course you can put 2 plus 2 together and you can see who I'm talking about. Quite famous, very well regarded podcasters that don't know that how can they save anybody from the matrix if they are the matrix, and how they're affected psychologically. Do they not see it? And yes, you can take psychedelics to fend that thing away for some being, but eventually it's gonna catch up with you, just like you've seen with Terence McKenna. Because you cannot keep on relying on psychedelics, that thing's gonna catch up with you, and it's gonna come up as some sort of ailment because you relied upon external, consuming something externally. Where are you supposed to be having your own soma through the alchemical means? And so that's how the heroes fall. And these people who even seemingly been leading people out the matrix, been cut down by the matrix itself. How ironic. You cannot lead anybody out the matrix if you're still part of it. And the way you know you're still part of it is if you rely upon anything externally consumed. I'm not against psychedelics. Psychedelics can be great to open up and to see the reality as is, but it's not. Don't confuse this. Just because you've seen a flash beyond the veil, don't confuse this that you made the journey. The right way of doing it is to understanding, like, okay, I've seen behind the veil, but I'm still am where I am. I have to make the journey now to see behind the veil by myself. So taking psychedelic can be a call for the adventure, for the hero's journey, but it certainly is not an answer. See, in a lot of people who rely on psychedelics, they think like, well, now I've arrived now, I'm enlightened or whatever, but they have not done any of living. And this is why eventually you, you can even run away from what is the right thing to do, like the bending yourself for these external authorities. For this quick fix solution. And it's like not valuing your soul. I don't understand this. You know, people, of course, they would not value the soul, because if they took a psychedelic and all the work was kind of done for them temporarily, would just say like, well, if I need to, I'll do it again, and I'll just clear everything away and it'll be all right. But one of these days it will not work for you anymore. And then the truth will come out. Anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. Prioritize whatever feeds your soul and cut off anything that feeds your ego. Ego is not you anyway. Ego is a type of memory in your soul where memory not supposed to be. Infinity is supposed to be in your soul, not the memory. All the ego must be alchemized and melted, right? Because ego, as anything that is memory, a form, a structure, has energy trapped in there, right? Like if you look at anything, any form, like even this table, the chair, it has energy energy trapped in it because it's in a form. Because form, it has energy there trapped. So when you alchemize, you release that energy. Right? Ironically, that energy needs to sustain itself and keep getting those external hits. It's sort of almost like simulating the real entity, a physical entity in a non-physical dimension. It's ridiculous. It's an error. So you burn all of those, the memory in your heart, the ego. And one way to do it and starts burning, when you cut off the supply of what gets the ego off. If you do it through your own observation, then you get way more control over your life, rather than being forced to do this when there's no other option. I mean, your body is a form that keeps requiring the sustenance, and that's normal. That's in the physical reality. You see, that's okay. But on a psychological or psyche reality, your heart's supposed to be completely void of form. Your heart's supposed to be something out of which the form arises. Always fresh, always new. Where the true creative process flows, and it nourishes your soul and therefore your body as well. And when you corrupt this process and you say, all right, I'll be satisfying the ego now, in a as in, you've seen an example with these celebrities. That is being lost. Even the true creativity is being lost. This is why an artist with an ego is really not an artist at all. It's a con artist, but it's not an artist. You can create something. Of course, it would be imitation and artificial, but you can create something. And it can look on a superficial level. It can be look very convincing. You say, wow, this is, beautiful. It has all of this, but it's been put together artificially and it has no energy behind it. It acts as a trap. On a sensory level, everything looks good, but on a feeling level, you feel that it's void of meaning. And this is why this artificial art is stimulating the senses, but it does not resonate with your heart, which is a very, very real thing. Not only this a real thing, it's just a basis of your existence, it's the basis of your life, and it should never be sacrificed. It's a type of martyrdom. So anyway, if you're looking to build, look, what I'm saying here is that it's done. There's no real art over there. There's no real life. It's all bullshit. It's nonsense. It's done. That machine is done. You have to start looking about how to go forward in life without that machine. You have to voluntarily say, all right, now all my life and everything in my life has to do, cannot belong and cannot depend on that. If you value your soul, now if you use it as a bridge, right, to bring people over, it's just sort of, naturally will be used, but you do not depend on it. You function on something else, somewhere else. That's your primary residence, so to speak. And then you can use these platforms sort of in an organic way. It's possible to use it in an organic way. But not participating in anything else. That makes sense. The money is not coming from there. It's just they may get you people to move onto the new platform where there is sustainability and nobody is forced to sell their soul. And by the way, one of the principles that we should be aware that your consciousness is not conditioned to handle more than about 100 and, well, let's just use that awesome number, 144. Your consciousness is not handled to your consciousness is not built to handle more than 144 connections. You cannot possibly have a real connection with more than that many people. Therefore, if your art is meaningfully impacting and you are actually meaningfully connected with that many people, that is all the soul would ever want or need. It does not require million. It means absolutely nothing to your soul. What does it mean? That this perverse relationship between, the creator and the consumer, and that pretentiousness that creator knows and talks to them on the personal level, it's a perversion. It's not real. It's an illusion. It pacifies your ego. It does not give any kind of meaning to your soul. I don't like that at all. It's just wrong. This is not how people are built to interact with each other. People are built to socialize, um, mostly one-on-one on groups that are direct and live interactions. Um, not through broadcasting. I know it's in this society is accepted as normal, but it's far from normal. So, but there is still, like I said, the Matrix is not the world. There is a real world, but it's not in the Matrix. Everything that you've shown there and through these apps, it's all bullshit. It's all illusion. Programming people to want to participate in that. I don't understand this. I mean, I do understand this, but I don't understand how many people can fall for this shit. Trust me, there is a real world. There are real artists, and um, they don't live there because they can't live there because they have real resonance. They have real soul. Um, it cannot be in that machine. You see, like everything in that machine is false. Somebody had like a real moment, like real like emotional moment, and then the shit machine copies that. It's like, oh, people are watching that, so let's just give more of that to people. And now it becomes like, wait a second, that isn't an imitation of what actually happened. But they manipulate people's emotions. It doesn't matter, right? So let's just now manipulate people's emotions. And so let's just post or prioritize the content where people getting overly emotional because there was a real emotional event that took place. Now everybody, and people watch it like, and it was real. Now let's do more of this, like inorganically, you see, and you can see like, okay, this is bullshit. One comedian came on stage and was in that particular moment, that particular year, created something that related to that particular time, and it was scandalous, and it was funny, let's just say, and it was gone, and that person already moved on, already creating all this because the times are gone. It's gone. You can't resuscitate this thing that should have been released like years ago. It's gone. That those times are gone. But yet, some people just go online and imitate that. And say, okay. And there's a big difference. And gullible people still watch this and they don't get it that this is empty of meaning. That is just like a pure imitation. And this is not art. And anyway, that will be enough for today. That's the reason they all look like skeletons. Because the veil is falling off and the truth is coming out. It's not anything else. On a fundamental level, that's what it is. Like I said, the mass ego extinction event is imminent. It's just the way it is. For the butterfly to be born, all the caterpillar cells have to be gone. So why not focus and start building something that is incorruptible and it works in soul-based society. Don't try to fix it. It's not fixable. Something new has to be built. The infrastructure that is not government controlled. Anyway, I don't want to expand on another topic, but I'm just saying that let the old world burn and use those ashes as a fertilizer to build a new world. This is what's happening every day inside of you and your soul. And now this is being reflected on a planetary scale. Planet is going through its own alchemy and burning the old, sometimes literally. Those four deluges, that people are talking about: the fire, earth, water, and air. The planet is cleaning itself up from crap. There you go. Peace, and I'll see you in the next one.